Welcome to SIS Stories. This is Miss Bachikalupo's English 10 class, storytelling under the theme, Enter, Return. This is Yijoo's story. Listen to her talk about the power of letting perfection go.
Before, I was hurting, I was drowning, I was broken into pieces, and I was choking. The word perfection was so fascinating that I didn't even notice how many scars I got when I looked at the word. There was a door of perfection. I always wanted to enter the door, but the door was locked. I didn't have the key to enter the door, but I didn't want other people to know that I don't have the key to enter, so I pretended like I have one. I grasped the key so hard, and it started to give me more scars on my hand. People call me mature. People call me positive, people call me bright, and people call me aggressive. But when I asked myself, I felt quite empty. I mean, it is really true that I am really an outgoing person, and I love to face challenges, but didn't I more care about how people will judge on my personality and imperfection? Trying to enter the door of perfection was a tough journey. I tried so hard, and I even hurted myself to become perfect. Perfect grades, perfect relationships, perfect achievements, perfect life, and just perfect Yijoo. That's what I wanted all the time. Well, when I always tried to achieve and touch the perfection, it never, ever, never worked for me. And it gave me more stress and pressure to my life. I was like, how can other people look so well and I'm not perfect enough? And you know the feeling when you want to do way better, but you just feel like you just reached out to your limit? That was the feeling I hated the most because I felt like there's no more way I can go right now. I wanted everyone to love me, even though I knew it is really impossible. I wanted to be a perfect older sister, so my younger sister Yijoo can learn from how I walk. I wanted to be a perfect and proud daughter, so my parents can love me more. I wanted to be a perfect friend, so my friends can stay by my side. I wanted to be a perfect Yijoo so other people can love me and I can love myself as well. This was me all the time. I wanted to enter the perfection until I returned as Yijoo and no more. Guess when it was? It was me in 9th grade, just last year. You guys probably didn't know because I never expressed it. I mean, I was scared to express it. Like, going through high school was tough. I think everyone knows that. And 9th grade, people call this as freshie, and I thought it's freshie because you have a fresh start, you have fresh mind, you have a fresh life, but it was never fresh for me. Like, 9th grade was, honestly, it was the hell. I can't even find any better word to explain my 9th grade. You know, like there's a famous musical called High School Musical, and I watched it so many times. I think all of you know that as well. Like in the High School Musical, it was my dream actually. You know how people have American dream, like I will have a better life in America. I had a high school dream with the High School Musical. But when I entered high school, nothing was like that. All the actors had perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect life, and like themselves were just so perfect. When I entered high school, nothing was perfect and everything was like a bunch of bombs. 9th grade was like surviving through a bunch of bombs. Unexpected things were blowing up around me, and I couldn't even deal with it. When I couldn't even deal with it, I still couldn't give up, trying to enter perfection. As a 9th grade, last year May was the worst. Last year May, so many bombs were blowing off, such as I have family emergency, I have final exam coming up, I have really big friendship problem with the friends in Korea, and I had election thing, and I also had really low self-confidence. That was the time when I first met biggest family emergency in my life. One of my grandpa passed away in this January, and I still couldn't forget it. And another grandpa who was my last grandpa started to have really serious cancer in May, and I just couldn't deal with it because it was my first time that I had my family emergency. But both of them came to me together, and I really didn't know what to do. I wasn't prepared for final exam, but it was so important for me. I can't even do, I wanted to do better and I want better grades, but my emotions was so fragile, so I couldn't even focus on my works at that time. And I have friendship problem with a friend who lives in Korea. I never had friendship problem with her, but she's one of my best friend. And when we had a fight, I really didn't know what to do, and I thought I'm gonna lose her. When I was like this, I felt like my world of perfection was collapsing, and I thought it's impossible to make like completely perfect life. I was like this all the time, and I didn't ask for any help, and I didn't tell anyone about this, because when I tell them, I feel like I'm becoming pressure to them. I feel like I'm the one who will give them more stress to their life, so I didn't tell anyone. But there was one person who actually noticed this. He taught me social study and English last year, but not only that, he also taught me life lesson. Mr. Lil, I think all of you guys know him. He was my social study teacher last year, and he also was my advisor. One advisory time, he was like, Yijoo, can I talk with you, please? And I was like, oh, what happened? Did I do something wrong like that? That stuck on my head. And I went to him. He was like, Yijoo, are you okay these days? Like, you don't look fine. That simple line, it's really simple and common, but that line, no one asked me, and I didn't even ask for myself. And like, am I okay? No one, I didn't ask my first help. So, but the answer for the question was like, yeah, I'm totally fine, because I'm used to say I'm fine, and I thought it's okay to hide like that I'm getting hurt by how many pressure that are stepping on me. Then Mr. Lil started to talk about how it is okay to put down your pressure sometime, and how it is okay to make mistakes sometimes. Honestly, I couldn't make any empathy with it at first time. Because like I thought it's way better to make less mistakes when you are going through your life, and it's way better to look more perfect at any aspect. And then Mr. Lil also asked me a question like, why do you want to be so perfect? When I asked myself that question, I had no answer. Why do I want to be perfect? Is it that important for my life? What is perfection? Like, I asked myself, and I had no answer for all of those questions. When those questions were hitting my head, Mr. Lil told me, Yijoo, it's okay to be imperfect, and you're already perfect in your own way. Don't try to fit yourself into what other people think how perfection is. That 6 seconds, that simple line, changed my whole life. The simple line that Mr. Lil told me gave me new eyes to look at this world, and gave me new ears to listen to how people talk about me, and gave me new mouth to talk about myself as well. I tried to suit myself to how people think perfection is, but now I'm trying to look at myself with my own eyes, not other people's eyes. I was hurting. I was stabbing myself with a sharp, invisible knife of perfection. I was drowning. I was falling and drowning of pressure, and I got to the point where I couldn't even breathe anymore. I was broken into pieces. My emotion was so fragile, and my mind was so fragile. You know how like when glass become pieces, they lost their shape, right? I lost my identity at that time. I was choking. Perfection was choking, and I was choking myself. But after I had a conversation with Mr. Lil, the conversation that totally changed my whole life. Now I am flying with my identity. I'm going to the destination where I want to go, not where other people want me to go. Now I'm breathing. I'm inhaling my own spirit, and I'm exhaling the pressure that I had. Now I'm smiling. I don't make any more fake smiles right now. I smile when I want to smile, and my smiles truly represent me right now and show who I am. Now, I'm looking up. I'm looking up to be a better person, not perfect person. Thank you.